Well, good evening to everyone joining us tonight. Thank you for being here with us. It's hump day once again. Hopefully, we had a good week up to this point, and hopefully, you'll finish the week strong. Get all those tasks, all those goals completed. And tonight, we're going to talk about doubt shows up after we start something worthwhile. That's when doubt begins to creep in, right? So, we need to know how to deal with that, how to address it. So, we're going to give everyone a few moments to jump on with us. Let's see what I have here. Okay, that works. Yeah. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. In a couple of minutes, we'll get started with our subject tonight. Doubt shows up after we start, or after you start, or after I start something worthwhile. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. So we want to look at the psychology of it, the science behind it, the spirituality behind it, right? Hope the weather is well where you are in the country or in the world. We've had some rain here in Northern California the past few days. Of course, we always need rain here, and it's pretty cool here as well. Hi, Ria. Good evening. Good to see you on with us tonight. We're going to get started here in a moment. Yeah, it was pretty terrible this morning. Yes. Traffic was pretty bad. Backed up. Folks are not used to driving in the rain here. So, yes. All right. Alexa, pause. Once again, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight on my podcast, Meaningful Conversations with Dr. Devin Oten. I believe we have another good topic as we continue to build upon the things we've been talking about for the past several months. And tonight, we're going to talk about the fact that, doubt will show up right after you and I decide we're going to do something, start something, launch something that's really meaningful, that's really worthwhile, right? Tonight is really the theme, if you will. It's about confidence versus uncertainty. There are many times in our life where we feel very confident. And of course, on the other side of the coin, there's so many times where we feel very uncertain, right? About the things that we're doing, the decisions that we're making, the people we're deciding to get into relationship with, jobs we're thinking about uh, taking offers on, or businesses, entrepreneur opportunities we're thinking about launching, investing, just so many different areas in life where we begin to operate either in confidence or we operate in uncertainty. And neither one of those are necessarily a bad thing. We just have to know how to mentally deal with being in a place of confidence and also mentally deal with being in a place of uncertainty. So people think that doubt disappears once they begin. A lot of people think that. Hi, Dr. K. Thank you for joining us tonight. Oh, okay. Ria. Hi, Ria. Y'all together? Okay, you're together. Got it. Okay. So people think doubt disappears once they begin. But the reality is, doubt shows up because you started, right? There's no reason for doubt to show up if you don't start anything. There's no reason for doubt to be whispering in your ear if you're not trying to do something, right? Trying to change your circumstance, trying to complete that dream, that desire that you have. There's no need for doubt to creep up, rear its ugly head if we're not moving in that positive direction toward those goals, right? Making those, getting those things that we've been wanting to do accomplished step by step, right? So starting doesn't eliminate doubt, it exposes it. I'll say that again. Starting doesn't eliminate the doubt that we have, it actually exposes the doubt that could be hidden there, right? So starting something new takes courage, it takes some level of patience, it takes some level of certainty, right? Um, but what happens after you begin? That's the question that we want to grapple with tonight, right? What happens after we begin? For many people, doubt doesn't show up before they make a decision to move forward, before they make a decision to start that campaign, to start that journey, if you will. And one of my favorite quotes is a Chinese proverb, the journey of 1,000 miles must begin with the first step. And so many of us, we are gripped by fear that we won't even take that first step. So for many people, doubt doesn't show up before they make the decision to do whatever it is they feel they should do, they're called to do, their purpose to do in this life. It generally shows up after you start, after you step out, after you commit to doing something, after you start moving forward. That's when we see doubt start to rear its ugly head. It starts to show up and try to get us to quit, try to get us to pause, try to get us to stop, right? So, in this episode of Meaningful Conversations tonight, we're going to explore why doubt is a natural part of growth and how to move forward when you feel that sense of doubt, even when your confidence feels a little shaky. So, if you've never questioned yourself after taking a step forward, or if you've ever questioned yourself after taking a step forward, this conversation is for you. So, welcome back once again to Meaningful Conversations. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me, being with me. I see you, Dr. Johnson. Thank you for joining us tonight. I say, hey, family. I see. Yes, it does expose both your weaknesses and your power, Dr. K. Absolutely. So, let me ask you something tonight. Have you ever made a decision, and it doesn't matter what it's about, and you started something new, took a step forward, and then immediately started questioning yourself? I don't know if that's happened to you, but it's happened to me on several occasions, right? I made a decision. I mean, I was certain. My feet were set in stone, as they say, right? I had concrete shoes on, starting something new. And soon as I took that first step, man, immediately, oh, should I have done this? And in a lot of cases, it's called buyer's remorse, right? Like you went and got that car. It's like, oh man, should I have gotten this car? Some big ticket item that you made a decision, I'm going to go ahead and get this. And I mean, right after that happens, that doubt jumps in, that you question yourself. Man, was this wise? Was this smart? Should I have done this at this time? Right? I'm pretty sure all of us have felt that before, sensed that before, seen that in operation in our life before. We've asked ourselves, did I make the right move? Am I ready for this? Am I ready to take on this challenge? Or something as simple as, can I really do this? Right? Can I really do this? I've shared this example. I can remember starting my doctoral program. And I tell you, when I first started the program, that first assignment we had, it was a doozy. And I'll tell you how impactful that first assignment, the first class that I took. that a good percentage of those who started the program with me actually dropped out of the program because sometimes we don't count the cost, right? We don't realize what it's going to take for us to complete this journey. And when we see the full picture, it's like, whoa, maybe I'm not ready for this, or maybe this was not necessarily the right decision for me to make at this time. And I saw it happen to so many of my classmates. They got in over their head and they just weren't certain that this is what they were supposed to do. But remember this, nobody really talks about this part of it, the doubt that comes in and how to deal with it, right? They just tell you, hey, just man up or woman up, put on your big girl or your big boy drawers and just go forward and move. That sounds simple in theory, but it's not that simple, right? There's certain things we have to overcome mentally, emotionally, psychologically, even physically, depending on what it is that we're looking to direction that we're looking to move in. So we talk about starting, we talk about growth, but we don't talk enough, in my estimation, about what happens after you start something. There are going to be some challenges, man. If it's something worthwhile, you might as well get ready. There's going to be some challenges. There are going to be some blind spots that you didn't see. And as those things come up, you just have to readjust, realign your expectations, but keep moving forward in that desire and in that dream. So tonight we're talking about doubt. You know, behavioral science shows that when we step into something new, our brain tries to tell us to adjust to an unfamiliar territory, right? So when we step into something new, hi cuz, how you doing? Good to see you on. Thank you for joining. When we step into something new, behavioral science tells us, excuse me, that our brain immediately tries to adjust to an unfamiliar territory. So, doubt is often a response to newness. I want you to get this, not failure. Okay. That doubt that's creeping up, it's not fear necessarily. It's that response to something new. Your brain is saying, wait a minute, give me a chance to adjust to this unfamiliar thing that we're trying to do here, this unfamiliar environment that you're bringing me into, this unfamiliar atmosphere that's coming down on me right now. I'm walking to this territory that I'm not quite familiar with. So it's not a response necessarily of fear that you might fail. It's just that, hey, this is new. This is how your mind responds to us doing something new and unfamiliar. And what happens to a lot of people is that feeling is so uncomfortable, they decide, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Or maybe, they procrastinate. I'll try this another time. Or maybe I'll do it differently. Or maybe I'll do something different. I wasn't supposed to do this. And we miss out on some great opportunities because it's just newness. It's not that failure is imminent, it's that this is new. So, okay, let's get adjusted to being in a new environment. So, confidence is built, it's not felt at first. You got to build confidence, right? Athletes, they build confidence by doing certain things. They become repetitious and lifting weights, right? Making sure they have their cardio straight, eating the right types of things, right? Getting the right type of rest, sleep, all of those sorts of things. And as they continue to do that, they begin to build more and more confidence. When they get into a game, they have put up so many shots. They've in the gym, working out, getting shots up if they're a basketball player. That once they get into the game, they see that first shot go in, they say, okay, I have the confidence because I've been working on this, right? So it's not something that we initially feel. Confidence is built. Those little wins that we have to have, that step on top of step on top of step. Of course, there may be some barriers we have to jump over or get around or maneuver around, and that may stall us for a moment or two, but we're standing there. We're figuring out how we get over this obstacle, around this obstacle, or through this obstacle. And when we do that, our confidence begins to rise, right? So confidence usually comes after repetition, not before action. You don't start confident, you become confident, right? So for me, getting through that very first project in my doctoral program gave me confidence, and then I learned from several of my classmates that the reason why it was set like that is so people could have a realistic expectation of the amount of work it was going to take to complete the doctoral program, right? Dr. Johnson can relate to what I'm talking about. Dr. K can relate to what I'm talking about. And for all those other doctors that I may not necessarily see your name in the chat, all of us have had to experience that. And not just doctors, for everyone in this life, there's some things that you say, man, this is going to be tough, but you figure out a way to get through it. So remember, you don't start confident, you become confident as you use repetition. You keep moving, you keep doing, you keep learning, you keep growing, you keep maturing, and you begin to build that confidence. Now, comparison, I want to make sure we really get this. Comparison, what I've learned, comparison really fuels doubt. When we start comparing ourselves to other people, to their journey, what they're doing, what they have accomplished. And the thing that's so interesting about that aspect of us moving forward and doubt creeping in to some of the things that we're trying to start, trying to launch, trying to do, is that you're comparing where you're starting to someone's position where they're in the middle of their journey, well advanced in their journey. Some may even be at the end of the journey. You at the very beginning, and you comparing yourself to where they are. A good thing to do is to get with them and figure out how did they get to the middle part of their journey, how did they get to the advanced part of their journey, or even how did they complete the journey. So comparison will fuel that doubt. Stop comparing yourself. You know how it is keeping up with the Joneses. If the neighbor got a Tesla, well, that means I got to put pressure on myself to go and get a Tesla. If my neighbor is doing this on their house, they're doing this upgrade, this, that, and the other. Now I got to compete, right? And comparison will fuel the doubt if you're not careful. So when you compare your beginning to someone else's middle, doubt will increase. As you compare yourself to someone else's advanced stage or end stage, that will double and increase your doubt. So stay focused. And I hear this all the time. People say, stay in your lane. Stay focused on your lane, right? Stay focused on your journey. You can't be worrying about somebody else's journey. If you're worrying about somebody else's journey, that means you're going to miss steps in your own journey, right? So doubt doesn't mean that you have to stop. Okay. We we let doubt come up, and in our minds, a lot of times our brain is telling us, okay, this is new territory, cease and desist, stop. No, doubt doesn't mean stop. Many people interpret doubt as a signal to quit. No, it's not a signal to quit. It's a signal that, hey, I got to keep going forward, or maybe I got to make some adjustments. There's some new tools I need to add to the toolbox, but I know this can be done. Others have done this. Some of us, we lean on our faith, right? We lean on our education. We lean on the experiences that we've had, and we just have to keep forging forward. So doubt doesn't mean stop. It's not a signal to quit. Doubt is not a stop sign. It's a part of the process. I want you to think about that. Doubt is not the stop sign. It's not the end. It's not time to quit. You have to think of it in terms, it's a part of my process at the stage that I'm in right now. And if you have some thoughts about